Welcome! This series of tutorials aims to inform diagnostic laboratories about the new regulation on in vitro diagnostic medical devices, the IVDR. Please note that the implementation of the IVDR is an ongoing process and many aspects remain to be clarified. This means that new information will become available continuously. Please visit the ESLO website for more information. 7. Guidance, concerns, and recommendations. A few more words on the official guidance documents for the IVDR and also for the Medical Device Regulation, the MDR, that are published by the Medical Device Coordination Group, the MDCG. The MDCG is chaired by the European Commission and also consists of representatives of the competent authorities of all the EU member states. 13 MDCG working groups exist that all have their own focus, such as clinical investigation and evaluation, market surveillance, EUDAMED, and IVDs. These working groups draft guidance documents within their domain, guidance documents that are meant to explain certain topics of the IVDR and the MDR in more detail. For example, the working groups on market surveillance and IVDs together draft the guidance on conditions for in-house devices. During this process, relevant stakeholders are consulted. For example, they can be asked to comment on a draft version of the guidance. The Biomed Alliance, which represents over 30 European medical societies, is one of the stakeholders that is sometimes consulted by the MDCG. In this way, diagnostic labs, via their medical societies, are represented in the IVDR implementation, and they are given an opportunity to contribute to appropriate implementation and interpretation of the regulation. Even though the IVDR should improve quality, safety, and performance of IVDs, there are some concerns with this new regulation. The overarching concern of diagnostic labs is about being able to continue to offer high-quality diagnostics for patient care. The availability of resources can be a problem. A certain amount of resources will be needed to comply with the IVDR for the process of fulfilling all requirements for in-house devices. Resources meaning personnel, expertise, time, and/or money. Also, costs for using CE IVDs are expected to increase, as they will be used more frequently under the IVDR. Then, regulatory compliance to the IVDR is a new field. The IVDR is the first EU legislation regulating the use of in-house devices by diagnostic laboratories, and until now, there is a lack of official guidance. With less than a year to go until the date of application, the guidance document is planned to be published by the end of 2021, but it is not yet clear whether this deadline will be met. In addition, labs will need to develop compliance strategies based on the IVDR and the guidance, which will also take time. The absence of official guidance and guidelines from the field is problematic for efficient and goal-directed preparation for May 2022. The availability of CE IVDs was discussed together with Preparatory Action 2. Stricter requirements for manufacturers, limited resources, insufficient notified body capacity, and lack of some critical IVDR infrastructure together threaten the continuous availability of CE IVDs, as manufacturers might not be able to CE mark all of their IVDs before full application of the IVDR. Since it will not be easy to quickly fill such gaps with in-house devices, this could have serious consequences for daily diagnostic patient care. A factor here is also the strict deadline, May 26, 2022, with virtually no exceptions. This means that there is less than 1 year left until the IVDR fully applies, with a lot of work left to do. Even though some are hoping for full or partial postponement, and the European Commission is evaluating the situation, it is not clear at the moment whether anything will change. More news on this topic is expected towards the end of 2021. Enforcement of the IVDR is a national issue, which means that there might be differences in interpretation and enforcement between member states. This could be a hurdle for sharing information within the international community, for developing guidelines together, and also for developing tests in an international context. There might also be consequences for innovation. If you cannot be sure that you can keep on using the in-house device that you would develop, because at a certain point you might need to switch to a CE-IVD as a result of Article 5.5d, this makes it riskier to invest in innovation. So, labs might be less eager to invest in innovation of diagnostics. Also, it is possible that monopolies arise when only one CE-IVD is available for a certain application. It might not be a preferred situation when all labs are obliged to purchase one specific CE-IVD, as there is no competition, so no alternative available on the market, and they are not allowed to use an in-house device. Even though these concerns still need to be addressed, there is no reason to sit back and wait. There are several steps that diagnostic labs already can take, at least in part, in preparation for the IVDR. First of all, if you haven't started preparations yet, it is important to start as soon as possible. Form a team that is responsible for compliance to the IVDR and make sure that you are informed and stay informed about the IVDR and the implementation. Preferably, get involved in a local, national, or international IVDR initiative to share information and experiences and to discuss your strategy to comply to the IVDR. Make an assay inventory and plan your future assay portfolio, even though you will need to do this based on incomplete information. It will be useful for making decisions now, and you can always update the list when relevant. Check whether there are CE-IVD alternatives for your in-house devices, and contact manufacturers and distributors about CE-IVDs of interest. If your lab is not yet working according to ISO 15189, this would be a straightforward action in preparation for the IVDR. It is also good to check with your competent authority whether national provisions apply. For labs that do work according to ISO 15189, an upgrade of your QMS to optimally align it with IVDR Annex 1 is very useful. Furthermore, labs can start working on defining a strategy to reach compliance for their in-house devices and on implementing this strategy, possibly starting with their most frequently used tests and/or their highest risk tests. This will include risk management and collecting sufficient clinical evidence. If it is not yet clear what to do exactly, embrace the gray and do what appears reasonable. Very important, always justify your choices. So basically, write down how you came to your decisions. You are the expert on your own tests, but you have to be able to explain your decisions to your competent authority during an inspection. You will have to determine how to deal with the IVDR. Don't make this an individual effort, but join an IVDR initiative and make it a collective effort. This will have many advantages: more expertise, less work, stronger position, etc. Finally, try to support the IVDR implementation on the EU or national level, for example in consultation sessions, via medical societies, or through other initiatives. Competent authorities and the European Commission need input from all stakeholders in order to understand the field, to make the right decisions, and to draft appropriate guidance. So provide information, insights, and advice, and raise concerns. This will be useful for everyone, and this is likely to be educational for yourself as well. To conclude, the IVDR brings about significant change for manufacturers and for diagnostic laboratories. In-house devices are commonly used and will remain crucial for high-quality diagnostic healthcare after the 26th of May 2022. The IVDR might affect CE-IVD availability, and the IVDR might require a switch from in-house devices to CE-IVDs. There are many useful information sources and initiatives on the IVDR. Even though official guidance on in-house devices is pending, there is no reason to wait with preparations. Make reasonable decisions and always justify your choices. Collective action can be of great benefit.